Okie, Okie. Oh my God, it is 2025 and everybody has let go of 2024. Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, welcome to Native Wellness Institute's. We're calling it Wellness Wednesday, Power Hour. We might call it something different. We might call it. It's not. Oh, I better be good. It's like people darker than a paper bag day. Wellness, but it's okay if you're lighter because acceptance of all shades is good. So, Oki, Nistu Nidaniko, Mokoyo, Sukoyi, and don't make fun of me how I talk Indian, eh? Because it's just my badass way of practicing. So, Nistu, Sixaketapi, Blackfoot Confederacy, Nistu, Skapi Pikani, born in Hart Butte, Montana, 1956. That's why I'm a badass. Hart Butte, Montana. Nistu, I was just, I'm a bull shoe on my mom's side. My mom comes from Ahwatukee. Irene Pollock Bullshoe Cooper and Manly John Cooper. And above them was Joseph Bullshoe and Cecile Bullshoe that mom says had 17 live births and 13 lived. So the Bullshoes come from them. Just protocol. And Nistu, I'm an iron pipe. My biological great-grandfather was John E. Nault Eagle Ribs, who had sex with Mrs. Nightgun and made Sam Newbreast Sr. So I'm Eagle Ribs, and my grandma is Atstanikiwa Agnes Iron Pipe, which was called Iron Breast, which is monogamy, which is a whole different story about the ability to not get killed by a iron sword, monogamy. So that's where I come from, and I come from a culture, Nistu Nasitapi, where we have a kinship, where Ninna is our father, Nikista, our mother, and then there's, older sister, younger sister, older brother, younger brother, cousins, your brothers and your sisters, and I could go on and on about kinship. I'm trying to learn all the Blackfoot phrases, but I'm coming to you on, God, this is like the first day, January 1st. Woohoo! Who loves January 1st? And, I always love it because I read, I'm the kind of person in recovery, and I'm in recovery, so I make a lot of mistakes, and I try to work the steps, and I try to do prayers, and I try to check in with sponsors and my mentors to talk about behaving better. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I don't give a damn. I just be badass auntie and just be acting it. Because at this 68, soon to be 69, I should know better, right? I should know better. But I was still taking like a fine stone, some old resentments, and kind of taking it and twirling it around in my mind, my body, and spirit. And I was really asking Creator to let me forgive. And on some, I can still remember the betrayal and the lies and the bad behavior. So I just took them out. Hey. I just took them out. But as I was going over these resentments that were old, they didn't have as much power. It's only 12 Fahrenheit. I was gonna try to come to you live in the snow around here because man, we got a lot of snow. I'll take you out in a little while because I can go out for a bit. But last time I went out in the snow with my iPhone, it froze. So I would just say, okay, I learned that lesson, so I'm just gonna come to you live from my badass auntie, my new couch that I love. Anyway, I wanted to just welcome you to Wellness Wednesday. And why is 2025 going to be a dang good year? And why is 2000 year going to be the time of change? And why is 2025 going to be an opportunity to heal more? Native Wellness Institute, and we're having a free, so please come join us on this Friday. Well, it'll be advertised on the Facebook Live site. We're having a free training called The New Year, The New You. So I'm just here to advertise. It'll be our whole team who does a lot of stuff without getting paid. And I was just thinking of that today because it took me all morning. In a good way, I get these requests and I get these calls and these messages for prayers. And I have to write them down because I can't remember them all sometimes. And then sometimes some of them are just so, their relative gets medevaced or their relative dies or they have 4-stage cancer. All of these kind of deep, they broke a fingernail. Now, if you broke a fingernail, God dang it, don't be calling me up for prayers. but so this morning I thought, January 1, I'm going to read my Al-Anon meditation. I'm going to read my Alcoholics Anonymous meditation. I'm going to read my Adult Child of Alcoholics ACOA meditation. I'm going to smoke my pipe. I carry 6 personal pipes, but I'm going to smoke the one that I believe Jerry Potts made this pipe. And I was gifted it during a transfer at Natua Pisaki's and John Murray's a while back, but I really like that black bowl, and I really admire how Jerry Potts from Brockett, Butsapicunny, made this pipe. So I selected that one, and I just cried. Edward and Muffet Little Dog, they have a calling song, and I always just sing that calling song often, but every morning. And I had tobacco, homegrown tobacco, and I just sat and I called in the song and I prayed. And then all of a sudden, it's like my heart just opened up to giant gratitude. It just opened up to giant gratitude. Like your heart can just be giant gratitude. And giant, like, God, I'm glad I have a home. It's paid off. I'm glad I have a vehicle that's paid off. I'm glad that I have my mother healthy. We spoke this morning. I'm glad that I have food good food. I've been just eating off of elk steak with lots of, or roast with fat. I'm glad that I have water that I can drink. I'm glad that I have fresh air that I can breathe. I just started, I'm glad that all of my limbs can move. I'm glad that I have a whole fellowship and a community who are trying their best to stay sober and clean one day at a time. That makes hearts. I also like this one when you go like this. Anyway, I just started making a gratitude list, and this and I might be snowed in. I don't know if War Pony can make it up the 900 feet because it's deep snow. Maybe, but I don't want to slide off the side because then it's towing and all that kind of stuff. But it might, but I thought, no, I'm just gonna be peaceful. And so I sit here in peace. And as usual, I called my mom and I said, Mom, I'm just making prayers. What would you like to include in the prayers? And she said, I just wish that everyone was peaceful, that they had peace in their heart, and that they had a settling for self-love, and that they could take care of themselves. And I said, well, right on, Mom. Right on, Mom. And so I was thinking, God, how did we get through that pandemic? Because this year there's going to be some challenges, but you know what? Indigenous people, we've been doing this since we've been partying like it's 1491. 1491. But so look at how pitiful this is. This was my positive affirmations during the pandemic from March 2020, and that's actually when Native Wellness Institute started doing the Power Hour. And I think it was Robert Johnston and Jolene and the team. We were trying to figure out, because all of our contracts went away, and we all got together and said, well, we have to be uplifting, positive, productive for our people who believe in the teachings of our ancestors. So here's this little, I pulled it off, and so I wanted to just share, because it's called 5 Empowering Affirmations. And there's no citations. This is just kind of the ones that were written as we went from the pandemic in March 2020. And so let me just back up for one moment. In February, Native Wellness Institute of 2020, I think it was February 20th, we went into the Crow Nation's reservation, because a lot of our 20-something program and a lot of us were so very close to the family of Leroy Not Afraid, and his daughter is Selena Not Afraid. And Selena had disappeared on New Year's Eve, just like this. We don't know, like as the day unfolds, you're going to hear some rough stuff. Some people got divorced, some people, got DUIs, some people are dead. Like dead, celebrating whatever. I guess that's celebrating and you're dead. Come on, knock it off. I'm going to celebrate dead. I'm going to celebrate DUI. Oh my God. Take an Uber. Anyway, I wanted to, before I read this affirmation, because it's just been inspiring me this morning, and everyone that I've talked with and that I'm messaging with on, and I'm also writing some letters, is they have found and charged, and it looks like it's a white Napi, I'm trying to say Napi, go on, a Napi Quinn, a white man that is connected to the death of Selena Not Afraid. They're finally going to prosecute someone white that hurt a 16-year-old Indian woman, Selena Not Afraid. So we're getting, right off the bat, we're getting social justice. So I just wanted to, so February 20th in 2020, our whole team, Casey Nicholson lived up in Billings, Jean Tagabon, Shalene Joseph, Josh, Bethany Yellowtail, Jeline Joseph, Will, we came together because there was such outcry at Crow Nation. And they brought us to the multi-purpose building on February 20th, 2020. And we heard from her grandmother, we heard from her clans, we heard from her people, and it was just a healing. And so I just want to say, so that's, 2020, 5 years ago, and here we are, and they have found the white man connected to her murder. Woohoo! Selena Not Afraid. So I just asked for your prayers. I messaged Leroy. I just said, you got our prayers. And I remember we had that beautiful healing circle. And the next day I had one more job in Canada and I was flying to Winnipeg. And it's so crazy because where I was staying in the hotel, I called an Uber. And so this is like 4:30 a.m. And guess who was in the Uber? This is how Creator works. Was Leroy Not Afraid? He was the Uber driver, and we used to love our meetings in Hardin, Montana. And I remember when he first came into the program, it was just so beautiful. So we were hugging, and I told him, I just got to share with him all the healing that happened on the res. And this is what, and I'm sharing this because he said that he was at the place where he just had to keep working to make sure the income came in for the family, and his side job was to drive an Uber because it was expensive living in Billings. And he said, and the emotional energy that it takes, and this is when you're grieving, there's, during your grieving, there's this emotional energy, anticipatory grief. The grief is always as big as the love that there, he said, he just couldn't take any more people saying, I'm sorry, condolences. He said he'd had enough, and he just needed to do the day's tasks. And he was my Uber driver. And so that's how Creator works. So I got to hug him and tell him, just know a lot of people have your back with prayers. And a lot of people, if you need anything, ask for it. So, and today, if you need something, ask for it. All you control freaks and you OCDs, myself included, ask for help. Ask if you need something, ask for it. Like I messaged Georgia Burns. I said, Georgia, I have to get out by Friday. But I don't think I can get out of my driveway. Can you plow me? So I know I asked for help. And but if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling depressed, or you still can't believe Kamala didn't win. Notice they've been quiet lately. That means, we always get suspicious when they're quiet. But if you're feeling not so good, ask for help. Call somebody up. Go to a meeting. Have your own meeting. I love Native Dads Network. And I just want to invite, because there's 5 organizations who are coordinating and not competing. And they're going to have a healing together. And it will be sponsored by White Bison. And it will be happening in Durango, Colorado, I believe June 12th. Now, they haven't put out the official poster for registration, but the 5 organizations, and so I just want to do a shout out before I read this, talk about these positive affirmations. is Native Dads Network, is Al Pooley's NAFA, which is Native American Fatherhood and Families Association. It's the American Indian Cancer Foundation. It is White Bison. Kateri Koyas is executive director, and then it's Native Wellness Institute. The five of us, and so if you're thinking of other organizations in healing, come with us, because we're coordinating on the common ground. And it's as each time that we come together with our keynote speakers and with our processes, we learn from each other, and then we find the common ground to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive, to keep our language alive, to keep our culture ceremonials alive, to keep our families intact and healing. I mean, it goes on and on. Anyway, the five of us will be getting together in June. But this first affirmation I wanted to share with you, because I think sometimes when we're not feeling so hot, and I say this to myself, the affirmation is, it's my birthright to thrive and to live joy. It is your birthright to thrive and to live joy. And if we channel that, if we take it and we put it inside from our gut to our soul, to our spirit, just think of how beautiful that is. It is your birthright. You're born, and you can see it in our babies when you look in their eyes and you hear their laughing and you hear their cooing and you hear them when you baby wrap them into the cradle board, when you're breastfeeding them, when you take them and you just look in their eyes and tell them, "Kitsikako mem, kistu ixakapi poka, you're a good baby, you're a good child." When you put out that energy into a child, especially before they are 5 years old, every day of their life, they're going to grow up healthy. So it is your birthright when you're born to thrive, to grow, to be curious, to fall down, to learn to walk, to make mistakes, to be, like I love 2-year-olds. Don't you love when they're 2 years old and 3, but like in 2, it's just like, no, because they're starting to learn self-regulation and say, eat some of this. No. Come over here. No. Share with your brothers and sisters. No. I love when they're like that, because they're just trying out their own self-regulation, inside regulation. So, but they're thriving. They go out and you say, "Don't touch that. That's hot." And they touch it. Don't do that. They do it. It's kind of like someone in early recovery. If you only got 2 years in early recovery, you're the same way. Anyway, trying to just still go out there and womanize and manize, trying to still go out there and be half truths, that kind of stuff. Anyway, this thriving. Think about, what if in 2025 that we live joy and we bring joy, not only for the outside world, but especially to our young children under 18. So let's just think about that for a moment, because if you got a high ACE score, which is adult child effects, and it's 10 questions, ACE score. It's 10 questions that if you answer yes, you get a point. And they're horrific, traumatic kinds of stuff. And ACE, you can Google it, take it, and see what your score. But most Indians, I swear, real Indians, man, they're like, "What's your ACE score?" 9.5. What's your A score? 11. What's your A score? 7. What's your A score? They're always way up there because that's just how we roll. Real Indians, we just have a challenging life, and anyway, we get through it. We're just so resilient. We just get through it. So if we in 2025, think about this. Every one of our family members that's under 8 years old, every single under 18 years old, if it's your grandchild, your great grandchild, your great 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 grandchild, and you still have no wrinkles. Anyway, just think if we look at them and we see as an adult, a mature, clean, and sober adult, that we make safety nets so that they thrive and that they get to live joy. Again, that affirmation, it is our birthright, your birthright, my birthright to thrive and to live joy. So I was just saying, wow, okay, so when I go out, which I might get out today, it might be tomorrow. I still, one of my character defects is procrastination. I always I was just laughing at myself. I always wait till the end of the year to do all my invoices. I do them quarterly, but last night I decided, I'm not going to be able to do this, so I'm finishing them up a couple of days, and I just said to myself, it's okay. But was I procrastinating? No, I was cleaning my house. I was talking to friends. I was getting my giveaway stuff ready. And oh yeah, I was involved in a headdress transfer. And oh yeah, I was doing all these things, and I just didn't have time to sit down and be my old workaholic self. Hey, have all these excuses because that's part of it, right? Anyway, this affirmation, it's our birthright to thrive and to live joy. So how do we, living joy, one of the things I was just talking with Aurora Mamea, because I'm going to be heading out there. I have a contract with Native American Health Center. It was for years with Janet King, who we lost and who died during the pandemic from COVID, or she died. And now we're bringing back her legacy. So Aurora and I were just talking about, I'm coming for Bates, which is the Bay Area, American Indian Two-Spirit powwow. I think it's the 18th annual. And but at the same time, what we always did is we always ran some talking circles, either on the San Francisco side, on the Oakland side, the Richmond side. We used to run them at UC Berkeley. So we're doing some talking circles, and then we're going to start doing, because I'm the female traditional consultant, so we're going to start to do some one-on-ones where there's a licensed clinical social worker and then the traditional consultant of helping people. Anyway, we were just talking away, and Aurora and I were just making all these great plans because that's probably my first immediate job other than, just in January. So I was just thinking, wow, I have a little bit of time off in the sense that I don't have to fly anywhere. Well, I am traveling. I just wanted to invite all of you, if you're in Montana or you're near Montana, there's this thriving and having joy. We have 12 to 14 Native Americans in the Montana State Legislature, and 2 women that were just elected, Shelley Flant from Salish Kootenai, and Thetis Crow, who is from the Hart Butte area, just got elected to the Montana State Legislature. But on the 28th, we just transferred a Kami Poismanix, a woman's stand-up headdress, for Thetis Crow. So, and this is like the historical sense. January 6th, when she is inaugurated, and when they will give her the sworn oath, she's going to wear her stand-up headdress. So it's the first Blackfoot woman wearing her stand-up headdress, not dressed like her oppressors, dressed like a Blackfoot woman, and who will be sworn into the Montana State Legislature. How is that? So you're all welcome to come. That's happening January 6th at the Montana State Capitol. There's good rooms you can get in the area. I heard that Doubletree Hilton has some good rooms. Or are you just come to Helena. I think it's happening at noon. And then we've also been invited, and this is interesting, and this is part of maybe in 2025, we elected a Republican governor, and he will be sworn in and inaugurated at 10:30. So we're going to go. And I asked Mom this morning, I said, Mom, because I'm one of those, I still do what my mother says. I still do what she says. And I said, Mom, we've been invited. Would you like to go? And she goes, sure. And she said, that's a way of showing we are citizens of this state. We are a sovereign nation of this state. And we're First Nations, and we have a lot to give and a lot to share, so we should be present. So I was just thinking, but I was in my mind, my sister Lori always has this saying, she goes, oh yeah, we were the only raisins in the rice. Because often there's all these white people and we're the only raisins. But we're going to go, and maybe there'll be a whole bunch of raisins at this inauguration, because this is our state in these 50 United States, in this United States, and we vote, and we think, we write, we're thriving, and we have joy, and we're clean and sober. And we're not just all mad. We're not just all going to knock you out and protest. We might. But we're congenial with democracy. Democracy. And so I thought, wow, okay, so my mom wants to go, 86 years old, we're gonna go. And we're going to say prayers. So how's that? What if we go there and we just pray the heck out of those Republicans? Because we're supposed to. It's a democracy. Whoever was elected, we got to make it work, where we all come together. It's just like teamwork. I mean, like some of you, look at your coworkers, look at your family. I was just laughing at some of the memes. Oh, I swear, some of the memes. One of the ones that just made me laugh so loud, because every time you go to a family reunion and you look around and you just realize that you're 2 clowns short of a circus. Anyway, I like to laugh at that kind of stuff. So that is our intention. And I was looking at, as long as it doesn't blizzard around, it might just blizzard around, but that'll be okay. War Pony, it's interesting. Once I get out of this straight up 900 feet, I'm cool. War Pony can make it, and I think War Pony can make it out, but it's just a little bit of deep snow. Anyhow, I wanted to go through these 5 positive affirmations. So that first one about it being our birthright to thrive and to have joy. Now the second one, this is the one that if you've had death of someone in the last 4 or 5 years, or just last week, think about this positive affirmation. And it's, I exist because my ancestors resisted, and I will resist. I'll repeat it. I exist because my ancestors resisted, and I will resist. And it's not just to fight, but it's resist losing your language. It's resist losing your ceremonies. It's resist losing your children into foster care. It's resist any kind of deep spiritual, I was just thinking of my nephew Trevo Foster. I just love you. He's NAC, Native American Church. He's just young, and he prays all the time. He goes into all night ceremonies. Mike Duncan was an all weekend ceremony and came on. I just think of these men resisting, not locked up, not doing these other things, but praying. And part of that resistance is just staying who you are, who your ancestors wanted you to be. My other nephew, I was just thinking about him, Gray Cloud, and our hats off to you. Our prayers are with you, with the riders that just finished the ride, in the Dakotas, Minnesota and the Dakotas. And I was just looking, I followed them, and I know some of you followed them, just saying prayers, because when you're riding horseback, when you're in the wind, even these little, like when I was outside, these little parts when it's, below 32, you get frozen. But I want to just give a shout out to those riders, those freedom riders, those resistance riders. That's what this is, this affirmation. I exist because my ancestors resisted, and I will resist. And it's a resistance to, and it's too simple to say just colonization, but it's resistance to becoming white. I mean, if you're white, it's okay. But if you're Indian and you're not a pretend Indian, it's resistance to a philosophy of the have and the have-nots and being less than. Resist, and we exist. I know we exist here. When I was visiting with Aurora, I said, Aurora, in 1907, there was only 600 of us left on this side of the medicine line. And there was only, I think there was 300 at Brockett. There was, just by 1924, we almost got wiped out. But they stood strong holding their pipes. They stood strong in their resistance. And they stood strong in their ways of kindness, lateral compassion, lateral understanding, lateral belonging. There was this existed, and it still exists today. So in 2025, just think about, not doing everything that they have on those commercials when you're watching TV. Have your own mind, go out on the land, make a commitment, because go gather your own medicine, eat different. I swear, I already feel different because I've just been eating this elk roast. And I swear, as soon as I eat just buffalo and elk, I feel good. I feel better. But in 2025, let's also think about, what does that resistance mean for you? And it also means, like in program, they always say we're working on our character defects. Resist that character defect. Resist lying. Resist telling half-truths. Rigorous honesty. Resist your character defects once they are identified. And, ask your family. They'll tell you what your character defects are. I just love family because family is just so truthful, right? Okay, so the third positive affirmation, because I was just thinking, God, how do we start 2025? So this third one is, my ancestors are always with me. I never walk alone. Our ancestors are always with us. We never walk alone. And one of, just even today, when I was visiting with mom, she's at that age. She's always been good at remembering her dreams, but she's been dreaming a lot. And she goes, I got visited. And then she talks about, and she's been visited, where she's sleeping or in her house. And I just listen, because I feel like as my mom gets older and as I get older, there's a thin line, the veil to the other side, and then this side that we can see, the on scene. And that's, we have t-shirts that say, I'd never walk alone, 300,000 ancestors walk with me. Think about that they're like right here. Can't you see Awalski, a token? Oh, I have all these. Oh, I have an antelope right here because my Grandpa Sam is white antelope, and that antelope, when I bought this house 30 years ago, I left that antelope right there, because I feel like it's grandpa. I have, it's something seen, but your ancestors, you may not be able to see them. And that might be your grandma, you might not have her anymore. It might be your grandpa or your uncle or your auntie. They're all right here. You're never alone. And this is the magic of it. All you have to say is no gaiki mokit, no gaspomokit. Pity me, help me. And you know what? Your ancestors answer. I swear. It just don't be, asking for win the lotto ticket, stuff like that, but just ask them, if you feel uneasy, like let's see, when I see people doing this, let's see, they do this with their thumbs, just that little, trying to stay calm. Ask your ancestors. No gaspumukit. Pity me, help me. And you know what? You just feel calm. You don't have to be twirling your thumbs, or twirling whatever, or playing the machine, or smoking the cigarette, or toking the vape. You just get calm. So your ancestors are always with you. Okay, so the fourth positive, empowering affirmation. Oh, and this one always just makes me just feel so good, because about self-love, because it is, I am the collective spirit of all those who came before me. So now remember that. You are the collective spirit of all those that came before you. And it's out to the Gukadoksikko on the stars. As many stars in the skies, there's definitions of gender. It's out to the universe. It's out to these planets way out there that we're just discovering. Is as we became, if we could go back, I think about the Maori people and how they can go back 50 generations. I think about when some of our young people, and oops, John Spence was calling. I'll have to call him back. Hey, John Spence upon the Power Hour. Talk about John Spence. Anyway, we are that collective spirit of all those who come before us. And feel that inside of you right now, this collective spirit that you have. It's in you. It's in your heart. That's how we love. That's how we have empathy. That's how we have compassion. That's how we have kindness. That's how we just have love. We just have even lust, eh? It's there. It's in us. And all of those, just that grandma love, that grandpa love that you just felt so secure with, and that you felt how you belonged, they're always with you. So we're that collective spirit. Um, can you feel that? Can you be with it? Sometimes just to be. I'm gonna I'm gonna read the fifth one, and I'm gonna take a risk. I want to take you outside for just while I've been talking to you. The sun has come out. The fifth one of the empowering affirmations is, my ancestors are my warriors. No enemy can defeat me. Our ancestors are our warriors. I'm just gonna give me a moment, put on my hat, because it gets really cold out. I just want to walk you outside for a minute. And I got my gloves. Because as I was sitting here sharing these 5 empowering affirmations, the sun has come out. And so I think I can taking you outside to let you feel these 5 empowering affirmations. This is where I live. Been here 30 years. I live here all season round. Some don't. They go move into town. But I look at it, it's glistening. Look at all the icicles. I was one of the good things. Whoa, the long icicles. That means it warms up and gets cold. Warms up and gets cold. I always put when I grew up with Agnes and Sam Newbreast out on their land out in Big Badger, they always had a lot of owls. And so there was many owls. They weren't a symbol, and there weren't nothing bad, but so I always keep these. Look at my owl, has a lot of snow on it. Hey, still got my tester. But just feel that it is your birthright to thrive and to live joy. You can see the amount of, look at the tufts of snow. My little Buddhas. This one's my favorite. My little Buddha always looks like it has a fro. My little frog. This poor little Buddha. And then this, look at that. I was a shout out to Bonnie Duran. No, she's one of the Indians that I know is a Buddhist. How they can just, and there's, look up at the sun. Woo-wee. Look at the blue sky. There's my wood pile. Grizzly bear crossing. But I just wanted to take you outside and welcome you again to 2025. Just make some intentions for yourself. It's okay to take care of your mind, body, and spirit. Make some intentions for your children. Make some intentions for your grandchildren. If you are privileged to still have your parents, make some intention for your parents. And if they aren't here on earth, talk to them anyway. Ask them. And I swear the ancestors are there to help us. I just know that to be true. And I was just looking at the shadow of the trees. Of course, I have to wear my fox hat, and I'm just keeping my mittens to keep because I think it might have warmed up to 20, but right now it's not feeling like so. But I just wanted to take you out here as we kind of wind down. Native Wellness Institute, we're looking forward to In February, we'll be at Barbie's Village. You can go to our site. We're going to be doing training of trainers with healthy relationships, so you can come on out. We're going to be doing. You're welcome to register in March. We're going to be going back to Hawaii, and it's about wellness in the workplace and taking care of yourself and learning to work in a better environment. That'll be happening in March. And then we have so much to look forward to. And then, say prayers for me. I was in a film and it's being edited, but I guess it's not going to be out till in the fall. So we really kind of I can't tell him much more than except it's about the 60s scoop. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I just, today I couldn't stay up till midnight last night. So I just watched some of the East Coast stuff and went to bed. And I just want to say welcome, woohoo, 2025. And I'm gonna scan the peacefulness and be quiet as you look. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Take some time to eat good food. Take some time to be with your family. You might even, be having a delicious meal today. Take some time to think about what kind of self-talk that you give yourself, those positive affirmations. Take some time to say you're sorry if you need to say you're sorry to someone. Take some time to say I love you. Take some time to ask for help. Take some time to, that Kitsikako means to cherish. All those you cherish, and it might be a four-legged. I was really liking my one little niece, her little dog, his name Grizzly. 10 years. Might be a cat. Linda Herrera. I swear that cat, I think, is 30 years old. Sometimes it might take some time to cherish. But in all the end, in 2025, it's okay to cherish ourselves. It's okay to cherish, and none of us are perfect. We grow older, old Indian bodies, good Indian women's, buffalo hips and antelope legs. Some of our men, they look like they're pregnant, but they got nice little bellies. But none of us have got all this kind of stuff. Just be who you are. Just be your authentic self. So quit posting pictures through filters. Just like I'm grateful that I survived my face cancer. Just be who you are, and enjoy it, thrive, have joy. Just I always do a calculation. So it's 365 times 36 years plus 8 months. I've been clean and sober one day at a time 13,380 days. And today I could feel it. I feel it, that serenity of accepting things I cannot change. And I believe I have courage to try my best to change the things I can. And then I have a little bit of wisdom to know the difference. When all else fails, say that prayer long and hard. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can. God, grant me that serenity. So with that, I just like the badass auntie, because I'm just feeling a little bit badass. A whole bunch of badass. I want to just give my gratitude to you. We're jumping off into 2025, so we're grabbing your hand, we're grabbing your social media site, and we're inviting you to come with us. We're inviting you to NWI Team, to Native Dads Network, to White Bison, to the American Indian Cancer Foundation, and to NAFA, and others. You know, we're getting a lot of non-competitors, because remember, even in the sisterhood, you see women who are still, and because being a woman myself, is I see competitiveness. Knock it off. You see true love when it's sisterhood, and brotherhood. That's for the brothers to figure out. And our LGBTQ2 spirit, knock it off. You guys that are still drinking and judging and blaming, knock it off. Quit drinking. No, keep drinking and die. No. I just get a grip. So in 2025, get a grip. And I guess I'll go on out. I've been in my dreams. I woke up a couple times. There used to be this old kind of feel good. They'd say, let's get jiggy with it. You know, let's get jiggy with it. So let's get jiggy with 2025. And so we'll see you next Wednesday. So let's get jiggy.